Okay, this video is bound to upset Mariner fans, and you know what? That's okay. I never really thought I'd make this video, especially say 2 years ago. I never would want this guy on my favorite team, but as it sits right now, I do think the Seattle Mariners should make a huge splash in the free agency market this year and sign Carlos Correa. Yep, you heard it here, folks. I think the Mariners should sign Carlos Correa. Now, I know he comes with a lot of baggage, and I know a lot of baseball fans, Mariner fans in particular, are upset with what Correa did and the Astros did and so forth. And I completely get that. But at the same time, Carlos Correa is, in my opinion, the best shortstop on the market right now. And I'm talking pure shortstop. And he is an elite defender that can truly make the 2023 Seattle Mariners a real World Series contender. So why do I think the Mariners should sign Correa? Well, first off, he's a career 279 hitter with a career 129 OPS and a career WAR of 39.5. And looking at his numbers from last year, Correa batted 291 with 22 home runs, 152 hits, 70 runs scored, 64 RBIs with a 140 OPS and a 467 slug, and he had a 5.4 WAR. There's no doubt that Correa, if he was a Mariner this past year, would have definitely helped them, especially when you compare Correa's numbers to JP Crawford. Now, I'm not taking away anything from Crawford. I really do like Crawford on the Mariners, but he's a career 248 hitter with 27 career home runs. That's Carlos Correa's average per year, practically. I think Correa's average is like 24 to 25, but you get what I'm saying. So in 2022, JP Crawford batted 243. He had 6 home runs, 126 hits, a 2.8 WAR, 100 OPS plus, and a 336 slug, and a 339 on base percentage. He also had 57 runs scored and 42 RBIs. So obviously, Carlos Correa offensively is a much better player, like a lot better. And that is why I think the Mariners should go out and get Correa and make Correa their everyday shortstop and bump Crawford over to second base, especially going into 2023. Second base defense will be appreciated a lot more due to the fact that the shift is dead. So you need an athletic second baseman, a guy like JP Crawford, to cover all of the ground at second base. And I think Crawford would be a perfect guy for that. If Crawford bats around 250 and does what he usually does per year, that's a solid second baseman in the modern era of baseball. And there wouldn't be as much pressure on him to produce, and he can just be a good second baseman, batting somewhere in the 7, 8, or 9 spot in the Mariners lineup. Now, getting into a little bit of defense, Correa is a super elite defender. He has a gold glove and a platinum glove to his name, and I think he's going to win the gold glove here in 2022. Now, JP Crawford has a gold glove to his name, but that was in 2020, and we all know 2020 awards aren't looked at with the same prestige. I'll say it kindly in that way. But there's no doubt in my mind that Crawford could bump over to second base and be a near elite defender at second base because he is a really good defensive shortstop. I wouldn't call him elite, but he is in the really good category for defensive shortstops as of right now, and I think he could be in the near elite if he moves to second. Now, Correa at shortstop, he is an elite defender and he is an elite bat at that position, and I think he's the guy the Mariners should pursue. Before I get into what I think the Mariners should sign Correa for, I just want to touch on the other shortstops and give my kind of quick opinion why I think the Mariners won't sign the other guys. So I may be forgetting a few, but I'm going to try to name all of them off the top of my head. So Xander Bogaerts, I know a lot of people are kind of connecting him to the Mariners, and I would not be mad by that at all, but he is already 30. I would imagine Bogaerts is going to go to an East Coast team of some sort or a big market team, whether that's the Yankees, Red Sox, Mets, Phillies, and I guess you can throw the Dodgers in there, but I just don't really see him as a fit for the Mariners at this time. But I do see one of the bigger market teams probably snatching him up if he does opt out of his contract with the Red Sox. Now, Trey Turner, I think anyone would want him on their team, and I think he's going to go to the East Coast. He's already said he wants to go to the East Coast. I think Trey Turner is either a Philly, a Met, a Yankee, possibly even a Red Sox. Don't really see that one, but you never know. And or he stays a Dodger. Either way, I think Turner will not be a Mariner. Now, Dansby Swanson's another one people have kind of thrown into the Mariners mix, and I personally don't see it. I know Dansby Swanson's a solid shortstop. I know he has some real flashes at the plate of looking really good, and he had a really good season in 2022, but I just don't think he's that guy that kind of sends you over the top. And I also do think Swanson will go back to the Braves. I think the Braves will want to keep him in one way or another. And I think the other shortstop that's been floated around that can opt out this year is Tim Anderson, and I think Anderson's going to stay in Chicago Chicago, and if he does leave, I just don't see him being a Mariner. I truly don't. If I forgot any of the other shortstops that are on the market, I'm sorry. Please let me know down in the comments if I forgot any. I apologize. This is just off the top of my head at the moment. So what kind of money would the Mariners have to give Carlos Correa to get him to sign? I think Carlos Correa is going to want to see that $300 million mark, plain and simple. I think he wanted to see that number last winter, and I think he wants to see it again this year. And I think the Mariners could do it. I really, really do. And I think Correa is going to go to the highest bidder for the most part. I think he's going to go to the highest bidder with the best team, and the Mariners could be that team. I think you could get Correa for a 7-year, $300 million deal. That would average out to $42.8 million a season. So let's just call it $43 million a season. And I think that would get you Carlos Correa on the Seattle Mariners starting in 2023. But either way, even if you give him a 7-year deal, you're getting still peak Carlos Correa, and $42 million a season, or roughly $43 million a season. I really don't think it's that crazy. I really don't. Now, I know there's a lot of issues of, people don't like him, the whole cheating scandal, would he mess with the clubhouse chemistry? And I understand all of that. I really do. And these are all things that they would have to look into. And a lot of the Mariners that are on the team at this current moment weren't really screwed over by the Astros cheating scandal. I think off the top of my head, who's even there when all that was going on, say from 17 to 19, was Marco Gonzalez, and maybe Crawford was there in his first year. But beyond that, everyone is gone. That whole roster has turned over a couple times since all that went down. So it wouldn't be like Carlos Correa showing up on the Mariners in 2018 or even 2020 when all that stuff came out. So of course you would have to see what the interest was within the clubhouse, see what other players thought, if they could play with the guy, do your due diligence, do your homework and such. Also too, I think there's just interesting caveat that not a lot of people have talked about is how about if Carlos Correa comes to the Mariners because he wants a little revenge on the Astros for not re-signing him, for moving on from him so quickly. That'd be pretty interesting. And the Mariners are in position to knock out the Astros or potentially do so. And they play the Astros a ton every year. What's the best way to shove it against your old team than to play them all the time, be in the same division? I think it'd make for some interesting storylines. I think it would be a very great and interesting signing by the Mariners. And I think it would make for a really good Mariners team. I think they could truly compete with the Astros and possibly even beat them next year if they both make the playoffs, which we all know the Astros are. I'm just hoping the Mariners don't fall apart. And with Correa on the Mariners, in my opinion, it truly turns them into a World Series contender. So I know this video is bound to ruffle a lot of feathers. And again, I completely get it. The Astros were cheaters. I understand that whole team was cheating, even though there's this whole narrative now saying that Altuve didn't cheat, which whatever, who knows? I don't know. I know a lot of people don't like Correa. I get it. I understand. But at this point, I think he is the best option for the Mariners. And I think he would fit in with the Mariners well enough. That clubhouse is very strong, and I think Correa could mesh well enough with them to help bring the Mariners a World Series title. But like I said, a lot of people are going to disagree with me, and that's okay. That's the beauty of sports. We can disagree about stuff, hash it out, have fun, have these fun conversations about Correa going to the Mariners or Bogarts going to the Yankees or any type of signing or trade like that. That's the fun part of sports. So with all that said, let me know your thoughts on Correa possibly signing with the Mariners. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. While you're down there, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be greatly appreciated. Until next time, guys, everyone have a great day. Thanks for watching.